Hey guys, this is Eric with Pixel Rookie, and we're going to be taking a look at the co-op action RPG game Dauntless, coming out later this year on PC, developed by Phoenix Labs. Dauntless is a game that's all about grouping up with a team of 3 other members and going on hunts to defeat behemoths and returning back to your central town hub to turn into the materials you collected on your hunt into better gear, which allows you to hunt more dangerous behemoths, going in a cycle of constantly becoming stronger and facing more challenging enemies. Does this formula ring a bell by any chance? Yeah, it definitely sounds a lot like Monster Hunter, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I had the opportunity to participate in the open beta for Dauntless, and so far, things are looking pretty good for this game. Dauntless starts you off with creating your character. You have some customization options, and I was pleased with my end result. The pretty boy behemoth slayer named Hot Dog 71. The first thing I noticed is just how nice the graphics look in this game. They're really stylized and colorful. It's really pleasing to the eyes while you play it. As soon as you finish creating your character, the game starts you off on a tutorial mission. Some hard-ass, badass bitches talking to a group of noob-ass rookies when all of a sudden things get bad. Ah, shit! G.I. Jane is about to fall to her demise until, you guessed it, pretty boy Hot Dog risks his life and saves her. In turn, you slip up and fall instead. Don't you worry though, the world of Dauntless is fractured into small floating islands on the frontier and you end up landing safely on one. Of course your airship's damaged, so it's up to you to find and defeat the behemoth nearby and collect its aether, an energy source that is used in this game. This is where you learn the controls of the game. You have your standard jump, roll, and 2 attacks, heavy and light. Holding the right trigger will make you sprint, and your bumper lets you activate your special ability once it's available. Of course, you can easily access your inventory as well when needed with the D-pad. The tutorial pits you one-on-one against a Gnasher. This behemoth looks like a pissed-off mutant beaver dinosaur. The combat's fun, and it's not really complicated at all. You can learn to read the behemoth's attack patterns and roll past their attacks and not take any damage. You have a stamina bar, but it's only used when you jump, roll, or use special attack combos. Instead of draining your stamina by sprinting, it only prevents your stamina bar from actually refilling. This is nice because running around and having to wait for your stamina bar to refill in between sprinting is tedious. Once you finally slay the Gnasher, you're rescued by the NPCs and they take you back to the main city, Ramsgate. Like I said before, the gameplay loop fundamentals feel very similar to Monster Hunter. Ramsgate is your central hub where you prep for missions, upgrade weapons and armor, and form groups with friends to play together. The biggest difference is that Dauntless seems to take a lot of the complexities and depth that you would find in one of the Monster Hunter installments and make it much simpler and more approachable. You'll find basic missions in Ramsgate that will send you back out into the frontier to hunt specific behemoths, or just choose a region to hunt a random one if no missions are available. Once you complete a hunt, you'll earn enough rewards that you're constantly upgrading or unlocking different weapons and sets of equipment. This is where the game sucked me in. I love constantly upgrading and improving my character, and I felt like the pacing was really good at rewarding you for progressing in missions. After the tutorial, you're able to group up with 3 additional slayers and hunt different kinds of behemoths. The game is definitely more fun with other players, though I did feel like there was not much strategy between all my different groups. It was more like the 4 of us would just all run in and beat the shit out of behemoth any chance we got. During my time in the open beta, I fought a few different kinds of behemoths. Of course there was a Gnasher from the beginning of the game, the Shrike, which is a giant angry owlbear creature, an Embermane, which is a fast behemoth that constantly runs in and out of combat while quickly striking at you, and a Quillshot, which would shoot spikes from its back at you. Every behemoth felt unique, and I really enjoyed every fight, even if I fought the same type of behemoth a few different times. Each mission took about 15 to 20 minutes before it ended, and all I wanted to do was collect my loot, upgrade my equipment, and go back into the grind for more behemoths. There are a few different weapons to choose from: a sword, a hammer, chain blades, an axe, and a war pike. Each weapon has its own series of different combos too. I was more partial to the standard sword though. The weapons have a nice weight to them when making contact with a behemoth. It gave good feedback on each hit, especially when a behemoth would hit me. Back to the visuals of Dauntless though. The game's really stylized, and I think it looks great. There's a lot of character to the way both the Slayers and the Behemoths move, and the different weapons and armor sets look really cool. The attack animations for the different weapons look great, and overall, everything looks really good to me. You can unlock different dyes to change the colors of your armor sets, which is nice. I'm always a big fan of personalizing my look to stand out from other players. I think one of my biggest complaints is that every mission I went on looked exactly the same. There was no real differentiators from the floating islands, and I'd love to see more variety of scenery, especially because what they do have looks so good. I'm hoping that when the full release comes out, they'll have more environments that have some more variety to it. I have 2 other fears with this game though. The first one is how simple Dauntless is to play. I feel like it might be just a little too simple right now. I've not really seen too much depth in any of the mechanics, which is great to bring in new players that aren't used to Monster Hunter games or anything like that, but if it's too shallow, I can see the replay value getting really stale after playing the same thing over and over again. I'm definitely going to give Phoenix Labs the benefit of the doubt though, because this game's still in open beta. I hope that the mechanics evolve and there's more that can be invested into the gameplay closer to release. Speaking of invested, my second fear is that they have an in-game store already to help with boost on experience to help level up your Slayer rank. I'm not very keen on these types of microtransactions in-game, so I'm cautious to see how they approach that system in Dauntless. I hope it goes the route of visual aesthetics and not any kind of pay-to-win model. We'll just have to wait and find out more in due time. Overall, I think Dauntless is super promising. It really hits the gameplay loop in the sweet spot for constantly grouping up and getting better gear. I hope when the game fully launches, it'll have a deeper system in place, more levels and behemoth variety, and not focus too much on microtransactions. Keep an eye out for this game as it gets closer to releasing later this year, and be sure to check out the open beta and try the game out for yourself while it's still available. The link's in the description below. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to see more previews, reviews, and funny Let's Play videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, have a good one.